Start. Madam, I beg to move that the bill to prevent the commission of offences of atrocities against the members of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes to provide for special courts for the trial of such offences and for the relief and rehabilitation of the victims of such offences and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto as passed by the Lok Sabha be taken into consideration. This House is aware of the deep concern that our Prime Minister and our government have for the welfare of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. Many new initiatives have been taken, particularly in the last few years, to improve the lot of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. Since we got independence, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and then Mrs. Indira Gandhi and now our Prime Minister have been trying to improve the economic and social condition of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. In trying to discharge the mandate of the Constitution, poverty alleviation programs which provide special attention to the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes have been expanded and intensified. First, the IRDP and other programs were improved considerably, and now these have been replaced by a bigger scheme of the Jawahar Rozgar Yojana. Drinking water wells and irrigation wells have been provided for this group. The need of housing have been met by the Indira Awas Yojana. The program for the liberalization of scavengers has been given a greater impetus. The education of scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe, which is of crucial importance to their growth and development, has received much greater attention. The number of students studying beyond the matriculation stage has gone up to 13 lakhs. Coaching centers have been increased. A special drive is currently on for filling up of the backlogs which had arisen as a result of non-fulfillment of reserved seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and that drive is continuing. Efforts are also being made to free them from bonded labor and to find land for cultivation. As you all know, among the landless laborers, about 48% are from the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. We are witnessing today the sign of fruits of development reaching the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes, with greater spread of education and with the socio-economic conditions improving, the relations in the society sometimes come under tension. Madam, previously also the government of India has tried to remove untouchability. Under the Constitution, we have abolished untouchability. But to remove it completely from the society, in 2005, the Protection of Civil Rights Act was passed, and again to give it more teeth, some more clauses were added to it in 2006. Now we find that that is not enough. This act was passed specifically for the removal of untouchability and against those who are practicing untouchability. The bill which I am bringing here is especially against atrocities. For the first time, we have defined atrocities in this bill. We have said that the atrocities shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 6 months, but which may be extended to 5 years with fine. We know that most of the atrocities are because of land. They insist on their minimum wages, which they are denied. When they insist on the minimum wages, then these powerful people who engage them, torture them, and inflict atrocities on them. Now we are witnessing today the sign of fruits of development reaching the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. With greater spread of education and improvement in the socio-economic conditions, the relations in society sometimes come under tension. As a result of this change, higher caste groups sometimes do not like the change in the socio-economic structure and tension develops. The demand for justice, for equality, for a humane living, for knowledge, for education and freedom leads in some cases to retaliation by groups who are not enlightened enough to recognize the healthy sign of growth. We can say that these are especially in the rural India and the Hindu society. In such a situation, atrocities or a variety of offences are committed on members of scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. I have had occasion to tell this house regarding the recent trend, the increase of such offences against members of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes, because often the question is asked in the house. The nature of these offences in many states indicated that these were not isolated instances but represented a trend in the country. In cities, towns, and the areas where the society was generally aware of the need to bring about such changes, the upward economic mobility of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes was accepted and tension did not arise. But in the countryside, in the rural India, tension still exists. But in certain rural areas, tradition is difficult to be dislodged, and from state to state it differs. So,